Bates, one of the toughest to strike out in all of baseball. And he turns on it. Sends it deep into right field. No doubter. Ethan Bates walks it off on a Friday night. Bulldog Bates comes through and gives game one to Louisiana Tech. Now this one's driven high in the air, deep in the right field. Reebok to the wall. Goodbye. Pearson Reebok puts Baylor on the board. A moonshot to right field into the wind. That one's hit well, deep in the left field. That one's got a chance. 2 homers for the freshman. This time it's a grand slam. Oklahoma takes full control on the road in Waco. 1-0 to McConnell. Hit hard, high in the air, center field, tough play for LaPoma. All the way back to the wall, he looks up and it's gone. Cole McConnell puts the Dogs back on top. Now this one ripped into center. Johnson coming on. He dives to take away a base hit.
New turf that they put in this week. This one's backhanded at third. McNeamer throwing across the diamond. And that's how this one comes to an end. A phenomenal defensive play from Riley McNeamer. Down the third base line, ends it with a throw across the diamond. North Texas wins it 4-0 the final.
McConnell turns on this one, puts a charge into it. That one's deep into right center. Leaping at the wall and taking it away is Vincent, robbing McConnell of a 2-run blast. It is a picture-perfect day for baseball inside the Big 12 as the Baylor Bears return home to the Baylor Ballpark, welcoming in Sam Houston out of Conference USA, a midweek matchup between two inside the Lone Star State. Alongside Baylor Hall of Famer Pat Combs, I'm Kyle Youmans. Glad you're with us. Pat, two teams that are in different directions right now. Baylor at 12-3, off to a great start under Mitch Thompson this year. Sam Houston, a couple years removed from postseason play in the NCAA tournament, just trying to find their groove in non-conference action.
Yeah, no doubt, Kyle. It's been a little bit of a struggle for Sam Houston, but look, it's one of those teams that we always count on. It's a grind to play those guys. We're expecting the same thing tonight here in Waco.
They were picked to finish 4th out of Conference USA this year. They faced Oklahoma this past weekend up in Norman. They were competitive in all 3 games, but ultimately fell to the Sooners in all 3.
Yeah, they're going to show up and play well. And they've got the running game going. Their bats are starting to come around. They did lose those 3 to Oklahoma, but like you said, all 3 games competitive.
On the other side for Baylor, working off of a weekend sweep in non-conference action as Loyola Marymount came to town and Baylor sent them home with 3 losses.
Yeah, the Bears have it rolling. Look, offensively, they're doing what they need to do to score runs, but the thing this year for Baylor has been their pitching. It's been outstanding. What a difference that Sean Snedeker has made as a Baylor pitching coach, but they have done a great turnaround in that department. Baylor off to a tremendous start, 12-3 to start the year.
And completely different than this time last year for the Baylor Bears baseball program. Feeling pretty good as they return home to the Baylor ballpark. It is perfect, 80 degrees and sunny, wind blowing out. Might see some runs tonight. Stay tuned, first pitch is next.
Crucial part of this ball game, bottom of the 5th, between two top 20 opponents. The Air Force Reserve Conference USA Baseball Championship, a spot in semifinals Saturday on the line. Ryan Ock, the sophomore southpaw out of Carver, Minnesota, makes his way in from the bullpen. A 6-0 record with a 1.69 earned run average. Most appearances out of the pen with 19. He's won 6 games, earned 2 saves this season, and this is a guy that this Golden Eagle Ball Club really relies on out of the bullpen. You've seen that with the appearances, and you see that with just how special he's been on the hill.
Well, he's also been special this year against Louisiana Tech. He's 1-0 in 3 previous appearances out of the bullpen, 5 1/3 innings, no runs, 1 walk, 9 strikeouts for this left-hander against Bulldog hitters, and 6 hits allowed in those 5 1/3 innings.
Huge inning for Lane Burroughs Ball Club. They've already scratched across 1 here in the bottom of the 5th. They're threatening with the tying run 90 feet away. And the go-ahead run in scoring position. Here's Manny Garcia. Ock peers in, gets the sign from Stanley behind the dish. First pitch on the way, and that one works inside. 6 of those 9 strikeouts for Ock against against Louisiana Tech hitters came in one outing. It was a season high for Ock, who allowed just 1 run over his first 14 appearances. That was over 20 2/3 innings. It's a .44 earned run average. 1-0. Fouled away. And he'll dial it up out of that high 3/4 arm slot.
If there is a statistical advantage for one of these teams, it's the fact that the Southern Mississippi bullpen has better credentials than Louisiana Tech.
Very deep out of the bullpen, and we'll certainly see that throughout the rest of this one as Walker Powell's day came to a close with that switch. 1-1, and that one dialed past him 95 miles per hour, and Garcia could not catch up.
You get a left-hander throwing seeds up there, and it makes it really difficult. He threw a chiclet by the hitter that time.
I like that. Really does switch up the speeds when you can dial it up on the radar gun. Much like Ock can, steps off as time is called. La Tech 3 for 10 with runners on base. 1 of 6, though, with runners in scoring position. That one hit was the RBI single from Hunter Wells. There's only been 1 extra base hit in this ball game so far, and that was the Bulldogs' Taylor Young that led off the 3rd inning. He was then stranded at 3rd in one of the earlier opportunities for this lineup to break through. They finally did here in this frame to cut the lead in half. Southern Miss got out to a 2-0 start with a run in the 3rd and a run in the 4th. And again, Garcia will not go down without a fight. Hitting over 300 with the bases loaded. Garcia with arguably one of the most important at-bats of his season.
He was 10 for 31 against Southern Mississippi pitching prior to this game.
And again, he fouls it off. Cue shot into the screen. The senior transfer from Northeast Texas Community College. Grew up in Puerto Rico. 6 foot, 200 pounds from the right side. Wild pitch, and it caroms off the backstop enough for Stanley to corral it behind the plate. No chance for Taylor Young to take off from 3rd.
The wilder the pitch, the better in that regard, because it sailed all the way to the backstop on the fly and then came bouncing back directly toward the plate. That's a huge break for Southern Mississippi.
Huge. Could have tied the ball game very easily in that situation. Here's the 2-2. Fouled off again. Gotta love the fight in the middle of this lineup. Manny Garcia with a crucial at-bat here with the bases loaded. Cole McConnell awaits on deck. That one into the camera well. Watch out over there. That was a hot shot.
Garcia is one of those guys who's fidgety in the box. After every pitch, he'll knock some dirt off his, or imaginary dirt off his spikes. He'll refasten those batting gloves 2 or 3 times. He'll tug on his shirt. He'll tug on his belt. And he's ready to go. He's a tough out.
2-2 sails high.
All right, here we go. There's the bat against the shoes. Here we go with the rewrapping of the batter's glove. Stretch the arms. Get some pine tar. Take a deep breath. Get a good grip. Why not? A crucial point in the ball game.
Double-digit pitches in the at-bat. Ock steps off.
Let's put it like this. If they were using wooden bats, there'd be another growth ring on it by now.
Luckily, we work with all aluminum at the collegiate level. No worries at this point. Payoff pitch. Called strike 3 on the breaking ball.
That is a fantastic off-speed breaking pitch. You cannot do it any better than that. Tip your cap to Ryan Auk. Auk took something off that. He put a little spin on it and delivered a strike. That is one whale of a pitch in a tremendously pressure situation.
It took him 11 pitches to do so, but he does retire Manny Garcia.
What a battle. That's a classic 11-pitch at bat, won by the left-hander.
And that's why having a player with the talent of Auk on the mound is so crucial in a situation much like that. Here's Cole McConnell. He takes a strike. 95 on the outer half. Quick conversation between the first baseman, Sargent, and Auk on the hill.
And Kyle, I just can't say enough about that pitch we just saw.
It really was.
Jam-packed pressure situation. And he threw a beauty. That's an A++ pitch.
Might have been the most important pitch we've seen in the tournament so far. Might have been the most impressive at the same time. 0-1. Hefty cut. McConnell down in the count.
Guess what? That's 97 on the radar gun.
Think he's amped? Bases loaded. Can Auk get out of the jam for Southern Miss? McConnell steps in, tugs on the helmet. And the sophomore readies. 0-2, sails high.
That one was 98.
Young at third. Hunter Wells over at second base. And Parker Bates at the first base bag. Tying run 90 feet away. Go-ahead run in scoring position. One hit, one pitch can change this ball game. 1-2. Swung on and missed. Ryan Auk comes out of the pen and strikes out a pair of Bulldog hitters with the bases loaded to keep the Golden Eagles up by 1. We're through 5 in Ruston. 1-run ball game.
There's the legend, Patty Gasso, over 1,500 wins during her time at Oklahoma, including one this morning, including 22 of the last 23 meetings with Baylor. She has the conversation with her good friend Glenn Moore. That's part of why this should continue into the future, because there is a great relationship between Oklahoma and Baylor as the two programs, once the Big 12 together, and between the two head coaches that have been at their respective programs for over a quarter century.
Yeah, 31 years and 25 years, all in the same place. You think multiple times facing each other each year. The last couple of years, Baylor and Oklahoma looking to face each other even in the preseason. And so you just, there's a lot of respect for the coach and a lot of respect for what type of program they run, and why not compete against the best?
Right now, Oklahoma has been the standard. 4 straight national championships, 8 overall, 2000, 2013, 2016, 2017, and then they've won each of the last 4 up in Oklahoma City. But they were picked to finish 3rd in the SEC. Currently the 3rd-ranked team in the country behind 2 SEC foes. It's almost like it's out of place whenever you look at the preseason poll and you don't see Oklahoma sitting there at the top, but that's the respect that Texas and Florida have garnered within the league and within the voting rights across the board as well. Hard hit, sharp grounder to short. One down. Oklahoma's put good bat on the ball, but has grounded out a couple times already. Tobin with the easy play to retire McEnroe Marinas.
And you got to give credit there to Lily Walker, too. I mean, she's throwing hard. She's mixing that ball around at the plate. And, I mean, it's hard to just blow a pitch by these Oklahoma hitters. She's doing a great job, though, of leaving it in the zone to where it's an easy out for the defense. So Amber Tobin just taking advantage of that right there, making it look so simple. That ball was hit a lot harder than what it looks like.
Worm burner, as they like to call it. That one catches the outside corner. Frozen at the plate was Eliana Agliani. Aliana, who had an RBI double in that first matchup, was not retired. Worked a couple of walks as well against Hofstra. That one inside, and she won't be retired here either.
That's where you get that lefty on lefty right there. That makes it dangerous. That ball does not break. You just give an easy pass to first base.
Were you a lefty?
I was a lefty.
Sounds like it. I feel a little lefty bias here across the board.
And we had some tough lefty pitchers in the Big 12 when I played too. I mean, by the name of Kat Osterman, Lauren Bay. I mean, you had some hard-throwing lefties that come right at you.
They were pretty good, weren't they?
They're not bad.
Not bad at all. Oklahoma's had some hard-throwing lefties in the past. Baylor hoping they have one here with Walker. That could be an all Big 12 honoree, just as she was in the ACC. Runner goes. This one hit well, deep into left field. Turned on it, and it's off the foul pole. The freshman, Sydney Barker, puts Oklahoma on the board. It's 2-0 in Waco.
She did a great job of getting all of that pitch right there, too. We just complimented Lily Walker on working the seams and working the edge of the plate. She left that one right over. She crushed the mistake. Got around all of that and set it sailing.
About a third of the way up the foul pole. The only question on that one was, would it stay fair? It indeed did. Second homer of the year for Sydney Barker. And just as Oklahoma did to start the matchup with Hofstra in their first game of the day, they strike first with a 2-run blast. It was Ella Parker that did so in the first inning of that early game, and now it's Barker that does it in the second. Here's the catcher, Isabella Immerling. Hard hit right back up the middle. Easy play, though, for Walker. She backhands it off the circle. And there's 2 down. How important is that for a pitcher? Give up the long ball against a very talented lineup, 1 through 9, to retire the next hitter and try and get out of the inning before going back to the top of that order.
I mean, you have to do that, and your top competitors will do that. You can't let that defeat you and just dictate the rest of the game. You got to realize, okay, that's a one-pitch mistake, and to come back and set that standard all over again. I think that's the hardest thing about a home run. A lot of times it's not just the fact that it's easy runs on the board, but it's the mental load that carries from that circle.
A lot of mental battles going on as well as the physical. Saw that a little bit in game 1 as well. Baylor allowed a couple of early base runners to Hofstra, didn't blink, and instead put up a crooked number in the bottom half of the first and set the tone early against the Pride. This one's also roped into center. That'll get over the head of Carter, and one hop the wall. Rounding first on her way to second base with a 2-out double is Gabby Garcia. The freshman in the bottom of the Oklahoma lineup showing off here in Waco, Texas.
And that's the competition that Oklahoma brings. It's not just the big hits, but it's the constant. And we saw that against Hofstra in the game before this, but it's the consistent approach. Like, okay, I gave up a home run, I got to jump back from that, but now I give up a double, and it doesn't matter where I put it, they're going to hit it hard, and That's the mental. You got to get past that. You got to fight on a different level.
Well, now you have to deal with the top of the order. Dayton, who flew out in her first at-bat to Dawson and left. 0 for 1 in this one. Gets her second plate appearance. Corners are in for the Baylor defense. There's a called strike to even it up at 1-1. Lily Walker in her 3 appearances this year, this being the third. It was 1 at Texas A&M. Gave up 6 earned runs on 6 hits over 4 innings. Struck out 1, walked a pair. Bounced back in a big way the next day against Villanova. Throw down behind the runner. It was bobbled at second base by Pylon. On to third goes Garcia. She slides in safely and swipes the bag with 2 outs.
That play is set up like that, too. That was not an accident. You can see the big lead she gets. Flores throws right behind her. And hung on to that base.
The junior catcher, Abby Flores, makes the mistake. You never want to throw behind a runner unless you know they're going back to the bag, and they've committed that direction. That's a tough one to gauge one way or the other because of the hesitation there from Garcia. Perfectly executed by the freshman base runner. 2 strikes. This one driven in the left center field. In comes Carter. She makes the grab in the alleyway to retire the side. Oklahoma strikes with Sydney Barker's second homer of the year. They lead it 2-0 on the road.